नहीं आया अभी, धीरे चलेगा 15 सेकंड से। इसको बंद करो, कैसे हो? माइक किसका चालू है? माइक इसमें तो है ही नहीं वो आपका।
Yes, sir. We can start.
मुस्कान स्टार्ट करें।
Yes, sir. बाकी स्टूडेंट्स
Yes, sir, we
क्यों
are
में
all
ज्वाइन
set.
कर रही हूँ मैडम. And good evening, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. A very cherishing evening and a heartily welcome to one and all present here. I am Muskan Himnani with my colleague Harsh Srivastava. We are honored to have our guest, Dr. Sudha Arvind ma'am, for the session on Ideation workshop, and we are extremely happy to welcome our chief patrons, Shri Vijay Kumar Gupta sir, Chairman BIT Trust, Shri IP Mishra sir, Secretary BIT Trust, our patrons, Dr. Arun Arora sir, Director BIT Durg, Dr. Mohan Gupta sir, Principal BIT Durg, and Dr. Manisha Sharma madam, Vice Principal BIT Durg. Our convener for Startup Club, Dr. Shubhrata Nagpal ma'am, our advisor, Dr. Satyavardhan Tiwari sir, our program coordinator, Professor Rajkumar Singh sir, and our Startup Club faculty members, Professor Shubham Dashore sir, Professor Pushpendra Singh sir, and Professor Alok Kumar sir, and Professor Vinita Gupta ma'am. We are literally glad about your presence. Post-COVID times, Indian market is experiencing a dramatic wave of development. Startups today are fueling the next wave of growth journey for India, bringing forth an era of unprecedented change and innovation. Today, India has the world's third largest startup ecosystem after the United States and China. BIT Durg has always provided its students a really great and prominent environment for supporting startup ideas with proper guidance and possible aspects for making startup dreams come true. Now, I would like to request our convener of Startup Club, who always keeps on motivating us, Dr. Shubhrata Nagpal ma'am, to address this session. Please, ma'am.
Please unmute.
Now it is audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A very good afternoon to all of you. Dr. Sudha Arvind ma'am, speaker of today's session. Mr. Rajkumar Singh sir, coordinator of this session. My dear faculty members of Startup Club, executive student members of Startup Club, and dear participants. I am very thankful to Sudha ma'am for accepting our invitation for this session. And I hope कि ये session जो है वो सभी participants के लिए बहुत ही useful रहेगा. And I want to congratulate all the women and wish them a very happy Women's Day. But in today's scenario, it is not the one day which is Women Day. I think पूरा साल हर दिन 365 दिन वुमेन के हैं और आज हमें मतलब अपने अधिकारों के लिए या उसकी बात करने के लिए प्लेटफॉर्म की जरूरत नहीं है. We are getting our I think say rights and all. India also, but I think there are some villages or you can say interior parts of India जहाँ पर अभी भी बहुत जरूरत है इस वर्क को करने की, वुमेन्स को अवेयर करने की, उनको उनके अधिकारों के बारे में बताने की. So definitely we think that from this platform, I will motivate the students and I will try to do something for them also. I am still working for women entrepreneurship, and our team definitely will aware all the women and about their rights and all. And I think this session is going to be great and very helpful to our students who are working in this direction. Thank you, one and all. And please, Muskan, continue. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your words. The objective of this event is to contribute to the growth of the organization and to guide students about the concept of ideation, that is, the formation of ideas or concepts, to mentor and mold the students to face real time challenges. Has been working as professor at CMR Technical Campus from 2015 till date. Till date, there are 5 paper publications at national level, 20 paper publications at international level, and 15 paper publications in journals. We welcome you, ma'am, and request you to begin with today's session. Ma'am, please.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. Uh, I think the screen is visible.
No, ma'am.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it is visible now.
I thank the management of Bilai Institute of Technology Durg for giving this great opportunity to share my views towards this session on problem solving and ideation. Thank you, Subrata Nagpal ma'am, for your kind request. Like, so we thought of conducting on 5th March, but because of some busy schedule, we have postponed this. Thank you for the opportunity given. So coming to the today's agenda, like we are going to cover, as the session is based on ideation concept. So definitely it is the part of the innovation process and the third stage of design thinking. So first I'll be covering with the problem solving concept, then design thinking, then the in ideation concept will be elaborated and few references towards this ideation process. So before we enter into the ideation process, like what exactly meant by ideation? Okay, so let us have a like brainstorming kind of concept, like what's the difference between the creativity and innovation? I think some of the students are present over here. So let me know like what is the difference between creativity and innovation? Anyhow, the screen is showing the difference, like what actually the difference is, but the statement can I expect from the students? Okay. So definitely, as this has been marginally differentiated the concept, like the difference between the creativity and innovation. So definitely, as this session is on ideation concept. So this creativity definitely it is belonging to the ideas, imagination, right? So brainstorming techniques, the creative process, the problem solving. So it is a part of problem solving definitely. And then innovation, it's like what we can say is the creativity is a noun and the innovation is work, like action kind of thing, like what is going to happen in innovation, right? So doing something like enabling or changing, or it is something measurable, something useful, or something applicable. So implementation part, like doing something. right? So that is a very brief discussion about this creativity and innovation, as we have to discuss this in ideation process, the next step of design thinking, that is third step of design thinking. So now coming to actually now still more elaborating this concept, like difference between one more term that is going to be added as invention, right? Difference between invention, innovation, and creativity. So as this says that creativity, what we have seen in the earlier slide, right? So it is the act of turning some new and imaginative ideas into reality. And this invention and innovation, now what is in this slide we are going to see, right? So this innovation and invention. So this invention is nothing but the creation of the new idea or the concept, right? So what about this innovation? Already what we have seen is the process of turning a new concept into some kind of commercial success or widespread use. That is into the implementation part, the application part, right? So these are the various steps involved in design thinking. So this design thinking that I have to cover, why? Because it's directly going to the ideation process. So before ideation, what actually has to be done? So we have to uh, come out with the problem statement. Actually, what is the what it is leading towards ideation, getting ideas based on what actually. So coming to the part of the problem solving. So first we have to come out with the definition of problem actually. What kind of problem it is? Really, the problem is severe and the solution for the problem is required, or severity of the problem we have to find out. Really the solution is solving the problem or the society problem, it is very much required. Okay, so it's a feasible, so then definitely we have to take out that problem. If it is a useful, the solution is useful for the society. So you have to come out with the problem statement, you have to define the problem. So then we have to find out the various solutions for that. So brainstorm the solutions. What are the various possibilities of the solutions, right? So n number of solutions we may get. Out of n number of solutions, like which solution is feasible, or it may be in point of application level, in point of budget level it can be, or like in view of like designing aspect. So various solutions or ideas what we are going to get. So you have to pick up one solution among n number of solutions which is feasible. Okay, so then you have to implement that solution, then come out with the reviewing the results of that. So definitely these are the various stages of the design thinking process. So definitely you have to review the results. So it will not be the final outcome, and based on the review, so definitely some part of the stages, like from where you're going to start with the problem, you have to redefine the problem. So you have to reinvent the solutions. Then you have to go for a once again re-implementation of the solution. So like this. So definitely it is a reviewing, definitely after reviewing the results. So we have, it is a continuous process, iterative process it is, what we can say is. So ideation process, like what we have seen here, is nothing but the getting the solution. So before ideation process, so what I thought is this, definitely we have to discuss this design thinking process. So this design thinking process is a framework for innovation. So what we can discuss about this design thinking process is, so we can have an understanding of the key concepts and the principles of design thinking. So understanding the mindsets of a design thinker, like with what mindset a design thinker is going to think about the various stages. Then can acquire detailed knowledge of the design thinking process and the various methods used, and we can develop the skills in applying this design thinking mindsets, how to improve the effectiveness by becoming a more empathetic service provider. So empathy actually it is going to play a major role in this design thinking. So definitely we are going to review the results. Definitely this feedback or we have to empathize, have to consider the inputs from the customers. So based on that, definitely, so various stages of the process are going to be iterated. So in this process, design thinking process, actually it is a human-centered approach one. So where the primary focus is going to be on empathy. So to uncover the needs and the insights of the users, to build an accurate mindset when considering possible solutions. See, like we are going to design thinker, that's what mindset design thinker is going to have. That design thinker is going to have the mindset of the human-centered approach, like what the normal ordinary man is going to think about, right? So we are going to have one mindset about, like, we can think in one angle, but if you go to customers, like, definitely that's why it is called as human-centered approach. If you go to people, if you approach them, definitely they will give the various inputs, insights. So based on that, we can come out with the possible solutions. So like it can be an individual or team approach for a phase of understanding this, exploring, and then materializing one or two of the solutions. So out of n number of solutions, so for testing, so may not be linear, the steps, right? So that definitely it is a non-linear process and it's the iterative process. So what we can remember out of this session, definitely it is a brief discussion. So design thinking is a non-linear and iterative process. Step by step, definitely in the first phase, we are going to pass through all the 5 stages. So maybe after iterative, reviewing the results, you have to go for a iterative process. And definitely it will become a non-linear process. So that teams is to understanding the users, the challenge assumptions, redefining the problem statements, problems, and creating innovative solutions for prototyping and after prototyping testing, right? So ultimately after testing, what is the outcome? If it is satisfied with the inputs, insights, and definitely that will be the final outcome. Otherwise, again, it will be a continuous iterative process. So like this, there are 5 stages are there. Empathize, define. First, you have to go to the people, approach them, take their needs, consider their needs, take the insights. That is the empathy, empathize stage. Define the problem statement, ideate. So like what actually today's session we are going to discuss is about ideation. So this is a third step. So what we can remember, this is a third stage. Ideation is a third step or third stage in the design thinking process. After coming up with the problem statement, get the n number of ideas for that, that is the solutions. Pick out the one solution which is more feasible. Okay, come out with a prototype, come out with a proof of concept, and go for testing, implementation process. Right, so it is the most useful to tackle problems that are all ill-defined or unknown. Right. So this is a very brief discussion about design thinking. So definitely it is a human-centered approach and collaborative approach towards the problem solving that is more towards creative, iterative, and practical. Definitely, it is not that much theoretical oriented. It is totally practical oriented, iterative oriented, and creative oriented. So coming to the, before we go for the ideation process, how actually we are going to come out to finalize the problem statement based on definitely 3 basic parameters: viability, desirability, and feasibility. So whether this viability, whether what we are going to come out with the solution, that is a proof of concept. So whether is ability to work and survive, is it feasible? Then desirability, whether this solution, what you are going to come out with, it is ability, it is going to have a ability to generate a demand. So your product should be the more desirable product when compared to other products. Might be what solution you are going to provide, what idea you have given for that, what proof of concept you are going to provide. So maybe n number of products are already available in the market. So you should make your product the more desirable one, right? So you should try to see that the features what the product is going to have. So that is unique. Okay, more affordable. So it should become more desirable, right? Then feasibility, aspect. So you have to see all the aspects. The application part, like it is very easy to build or conveniently it can be done. Feasible. So viable, desirable, feasible, these three are the aspects. Like when you are going to come out with a solution or which solution you are going to pick up out of n number of solutions of n number of ideas. So idea, like the students will come approach with n number of ideas definitely when they are going to do the projects as a part of academics, right? So they are going to have n number of ideas, but the thing is whether that idea is the implementation, the outcome, the proof of the concept, whether it is viable. So it has to have these three features, the parameters. It should satisfy all these three. Then only we can go out with the next stage, right? So viability, desirability, and feasibility. So here, the various stages what we have seen in design thinking process. So we can make into three. So hearing, creating, and delivering. So hearing, that is the first stage, like empathize, right? Empathizing. So you go and approach the people, get their understand their needs, get their inputs, insights. Okay, so understand and try to define them, the complete the problem statement to define. Then create, understanding and defining. After defining the problem statement, okay, after getting, so you have to create, ideate, prototype. So in this create, so ideate. So with the idea what you have, so come out with the prototype. So prototype with this, so come out with the testing on the prototype with the various results or the review of the results, deliver the outcome, that product with the various changes in the product outcome after reviewing the results in the form of improving that, in the form of validating, and again once again implementing. As already said that it is a iterative process, continuous iterative process, right? So understanding through direct observation, like thorough understanding through direct observation, like what actually people want and need in their life, like whatever idea we are going to like generate, like definitely it should be based on what actually people need, right? It can be anything, like if you take oximeter, like what it is more required now, like based on situation, what situation demands actually, and what people actually need in their lives, whether it is required in that situation. If you are going to come out with a product and based on the situation whether its availability is needed or not, right? If it is very much needed, definitely your product will be in very much demand, but it should be more desirable compared to other products. So what they like or dislike, so the way the particular products are made, like product is more attractive, that this product should be sold out or your product should be sold out compared to other. So how the products are made, how they are packaged, marketed, sold, and supported, like these are the various parameters. So totally this ideation is a part of design thinking process. This is a third stage of design thinking process. By considering all the aspects, three very important and the mandatory aspects, what are those? Viability, desirability, and feasibility. So this viability, definitely it's a viable. So definitely it is going to run in the market, business, right? So viability, business, and desirability. So it is more desirable. So people need this. More people are looking forward to buy this product. And the feasibility, whether it is possible to implement this with certain parameters, like it can be the budget, it can be, or the technology, like what you are going to use. Okay, so definitely, so these three, this it is going to integrate these three parameters. So then resulting into possibility, usability, and innovation. So you are going to, with this design thinking process, as it is a non-linear process and it is a continuous iterative process, it is going to have various parameters. It's already defined, right? So first, what you have to do? So you have to define a problem statement, right? So like you have to go for a research, like either any solution is already is there for this, or what is the drawback of that existing solution, and come out with the idea for the drawback of that solution, what is already existing, or how you can improve that product in a better manner. Okay, so come out with ideas, ideate. Then ideation, you are going to get n number of ideas from ideation. So choose one idea from that n number of ideas. Okay, so then you are going to learn, you are going to make a study on that idea. So you'll come out with a proof of concept, you're going to implement that, come out as a prototype, then definitely further analyzing, reviewing the results, so on, right? So these are the various steps. Okay, so this already covered empathy, like why the people insights inputs their needs. So this already covered. So defining the problem and looking into why all those. So at the different angles. So innovation efforts. So this and also already it's covered. So once again, it has been very defined. Okay, so ideating. So generating many possible solutions to a problem, right? N number of possible solutions, but you have to choose one solution among n number of solutions, so based on definitely viability, feasibility, and desirability. So why? So generating maximum innovation potential in a short amount of time. So this leads to incorporate in different perspectives, building excitement. For example, like, so this is ideation process, so that it will be elaborated in the coming slides. Then the prototype, it is going to create a concrete embodiment of a concept. Prototype, it is nothing but a proof of a concept. So which is going to become a way to test your hypothesis, to get to close to your final solution. Okay, so prototype outcome, so what you can match with, it is closer to your final solution, right? So why? So to gain empathy, to explore, to test, to inspire. So prototype outcome. So definitely the outcome of prototype, so that will lead to review of the results, the output. So again, so based on the empathy, you are going to redefine based on like what kind of changes are required. You are going to redefine the various stages of the design thinking process, right? So definitely under testing, like the various tests are there. So to understand like how the users are going to understand this and using this concept. So it's a kind of continuing to gain empathy for the users and evaluating the solution. Okay, so first you have to understand, then observe, then define, then ideate, then prototype, come out with a prototype, and finally testing. Right. So as already it is defined, it is a non-linear process. Non-linear process. So in this pic, you can able to see like it is definitely a continuous iterative process, non-linear process. How? So when you are going to empathize with, you are going to come out with a problem statement. You are going to define, right? So you are going to get n number of ideas from that and come out with the perfect idea with the prototype and testing. So you can see over there. So after testing, come out with the review of the results. It may leads to learn about users through testing. Like again, you can go for the empathize step, okay, or it may go to, depending upon the review of the results, it may go to change in the idea, right? Or it may go to redefining the problem, right? So after empathizing, again, to help the define the problem. Then next, test, create new ideas for the project. Then prototype, learning from prototypes to spark new ideas. See, once if you come out with a prototype, again you may come out with the one more solution, like you can go for new idea, one more idea you may get after come out with the proof of concept. So you can go for new idea to spark, learn from prototypes to spark new ideas. Right, it happens, right? See, sometimes like when you're going to define a problem statement, ultimately we're going to decide, depending upon the feasibility aspect, we will decide, okay, this is a particular software or these are the hardware things we are going to use. Okay, so to implement this. So once we start implementing, that is come out with a prototype, so definitely we are going to have n number of practical issues, right? So then again, maybe based on the results, okay, so you may redefine the problem statement. So you may get a different idea to implement. So that's why this is a continuous iterative process. Next, coming to, as per the definition of Stanford D School design thinking process, like I think out of this session, at least you can remember, design thinking is a non-linear iterative process, and it is going to comprise of 5 stages. Okay, so empathizing, defining, ideating, prototyping, and testing, and this is a standard. Also, this is a design thinking process definition as per Stanford D School, right? So the same process, various stages of design thinking has been shown over here. As the, you can see this in the form of infinity, that loop. Okay, it shows it is a continuous iterative process, right? So from empathy to again redefining the problem statement, again ideation towards ideation process, developing the prototype for the idea selected, then testing, right? So you can see it is a continuous, it is in loop only. There is no end, like this is the final outcome. So an example, what I can be very well known, you will go to malls, like you will be having certain product rating, like you will be given a certain product to test or to like have and tell the feedback and give the feedback. So based on the customer feedback, definitely that product is going to be okay, so redesigned or whatever manner it is, like it can be in the form of taste or it can be in the form of look. Okay, so whatever it can be, so definitely it is going to be changed from several, like based on the empathization, right? That is a very common thing. The thing is, like ultimately the product that is going to be sold out, so that has to have the 3 stages. Coming to the double diamond approach, like it is going to have the 4 phases. It is a structured design approach to tackle the challenges in the form of discovering, researching the insight into the problem, defining or the synthesizing the area to focus upon, developing the ideation, that is the potential solutions, like what ideation discussion that has to be done, potential solutions, right? So this double diamond approach, it is going to map the divergent, that is the potential solutions what you are going to have. Out of those potential solutions, you have to focus on, you have to converge. So converging, focusing upon, and potential solutions, these are diverging. Okay, so this double diamond approach, so this process, it is going to map the divergent and convergent stages of a design process. So this is a double diamond approach. So n number of solutions you are going to get. So different solutions, that is diverging. So you have to focus on the particular solution that is towards converging, right? So this is a double diamond approach. So here you're going to have a problem, right? So you can see over here you're going to explore that definition after discovering. Then you are going to go for a designing process, right? Then finally the solution what you are going to get, you are going to deliver, right? And the solutions that is going to work on and getting the feedback, receiving the feedback. Okay, then again it is a continuous process So design the right thing and design things right. So these are the two actions so involved in double diamond approach. Design the right thing, design things right. Okay. So now actually these are like the steps, various steps involved in design thinking. Today's discussion is on ideation, right? Ideation process. So as already you came to know that this ideation, so it's nothing but like getting the n number of solutions for the problem, right? Ideate. From the ideation, so you are going to get n number of ideas, right? So it's like idea, like getting idea. So no idea, getting idea, it can be small idea or the big idea, right? So n number of ideas, like, so that's what, like n number of ideas or the whatever the possible solutions you are getting. So you have to come out with you have to focus on the particular solution. So how to brainstorm this creative or the human centered ideas, right? So lead with the user needs. Definitely, you have to consider the insights of the user. Otherwise, what happens as per your mindset? That's what like design thinker thinks. Design thinker mindset, how it will be, right? Always design thinker mindset should lead with user needs. Lead with user needs. Otherwise, it will be a product that is released into the market. So without empathy, without empathization, so you are not going to include the first step. You are not going to, right? If you are the design thinker mindset is only the individual mindset, then this empathization is not going to be considered. So definitely the outcome, what it is going to be as after implementation, that is the outcome, that is the prototype after testing, right? So it may not reach to the users, okay, in the expected manner, right? So market rate may come down for your product. So definitely involve the multifunctional teams, right? Each one is having different idea, like they will come out with a different idea, right? For this ideation process, lay down the rules. So separate idea generation and evaluation, right? So then think about how to communicate this ideas. So you have to come out with this after discussion with the multiple teams with their outcomes, right? So what is this ideation processes? So this is a process of generating a broad set of ideas. So on a particular topic, like any topic is given, any theme is given, like what usually we will conduct some ideathon or any events, like we are going to give several themes, right? So based on a theme, like n number of ideas we are going to get, right? So we are going to see, we are going to analyze, and we are going to pick up the good idea, right? So like that, which is going to be, which is going to fulfill the needs of like the criteria, whatever is going to be framed, right? So on a given topic, with no attempt to judge or evaluate them. So this, unless and until we are going for the next process, only for selection or getting the number of ideas on a particular topic. So just come out with a list of ideas. So based on a particular theme or a topic. So this is going to constitute, as already said that, so discussed briefly in design thinking. So this ideation is going to constitute the stage, that is third step in the design thinking process. So here the idea, so what idea is going to be come in the mindset. So it is a thought or it is a concept, so which proposes a course of action to achieve a desired goal. Yes, definitely that idea, unless and until it is going to be implemented, that is not at all useful. Yes or no? So it should be in action. Idea should be in action. So definitely that action to achieve a desired goal, right? That action should be in which way? In the right direction. That action of that idea should be in a right direction to achieve a desired goal, right? So this is the conceptual phase of the design process. That is like the concept what it is. So in order to become functional, so definitely this is ideation is required to for the functional way of that concept should become functional. So this is the process of forming and the relating ideas. So this is going to play a role in creativity, innovation, and the concept development. How creative is the idea? How innovative is the idea? So how we can build a concept from this or develop a concept from this idea, right? So this is nothing but like about exploring the different possibilities, generating new concepts, and discovering new opportunities. So this like various definitions of ideation are there. Like in what way this ideation process is useful, like in the way of generating new concepts, right? Exploring possibilities. So this is the creative process of generating, developing, and communicating new ideas. So this is one of the step. Okay, so this ideation is one of the step in innovation process. So like if you go for the various like what this ideation like blog, what can be done to generate the ideas. So like as usual in the colleges, like what we are going to keep one theme, like one topic, right? So blog to generate ideas on a particular topic. So allow like the participants to contribute the n number of ideas. So we are going to judge or we are going to evaluate the ideas, like participants can vote for ideas, like and particular ideas are going to be selected, shortlisted, like free zone ideas which are going to get the getting some particular grade. Okay, so then manage the settings of the ideation blog. Like this is kind of like this is a very simple method, the procedure, one of the procedure what we can say, right? So what about this ideation in today's world? Like in today's scenario, if you are going to take, okay, so it is social, more social towards and feedback oriented, definitely. So collaborative, distributed, time bound, and definitely result oriented. All this ideation, that is n number of ideas what we are going to have, and like the idea what we are going to have in our mind. So it can be from simple to complex, like the cycle bicycle. What you are going to see, like that is from very simple to complex ideas, right? So like this, we can correlate. We can have unless and until it is going to be in action, right? So this ideation process is no, it's not. It not will be in vain. Okay, so it will not be used in action. It should be so definitely, and with more proper feasibility and viability and desirability aspect. So if you take the any example on this ideation like jams, if you can, so collecting the ideas, it can be for any purpose, for setting business goals for the any company or the department, and getting ideas. Like it can be anything, like might be in the college itself. Like we may ask the students, like give some inputs or selecting any title, finalizing any name for the event. Like we can ask them, like come out with how what can be done, come out with an idea, or like so many things. It is applicable for n number of areas. Okay, collect new product features from the field, capturing product quality issues from customers, voting them, and identifying the top areas. So improving the existing process. So n number of things like this. Okay. So coming to the ideation, like we have seen ideation is a third step in the design thinking process. But like what we have seen in ideation blog also, like how actually we can generate ideas, right? So what is the first stage of ideation? Like what has to be done? Okay, so definitely after getting an idea or how to, or definitely based on the theme or the topic. But first, what we have to do, define the ideation thought and guidelines. So this is the first step. Then start an ideation blog, like yes, this has to be publicized. So this has to be open for everyone so that they will submit, promote the ideation using mailers and posters. Then collect the various ideas. Then review, vote, and freeze ideation, action ideas. Then publish results with community, right? as already told that action ideas, if you are going to have these 5 steps, from out of 7 steps, if you are going to stop at 5th step, okay, so everything will be in vain. So there is no use of idea unless and until it is going to be in action, right? Action ideas and publish results with community are the complete process of this ideation process. So the same thing, it has been explored in a different manner. So formulating ideation strategy. So participation, like n number of participants come out with a different and collect and refine ideas, evaluate, filter the ideas, and customize to your needs. That ideas you have to select. Okay, so this is the ideation process. Like how you are going to think about like how to get an idea. So definitely you have to think, and there is a difference definitely between the thinking process, the design thinking and critical thinking. Like definitely in order to solve that, problem, that after defining the problem statement, okay, so in order to solve that, you have to think in what manner it can be solved. So the skills, what it is going to have apart from this design thinking, so definitely it is a part of problem solving only, right? So creativity and analysis part, and how you're going to communicate with the open mindedness. So all this, definitely these are the various stages of critical thinking. So it is ability to think clearly and rationally, like what actually, according to the situation, what the solution is required, right? So independent thinking, like it includes the ability to engage in the reflective and independent thinking. So someone with critical thinking skills is able to do this, like kind of understanding the logical connections. Actually, not you should go with the situation, what actually situation is demanding. Okay, that leads to critical thinking, logical connections between the ideas, identifying the construct and evaluating the arguments, like detecting the inconsistencies and mistakes in reasoning, and solve problems very systematically, identifying the relevance and the importance of ideas, relevance of like really like importance, like the idea how it suits for the present scenario or the situation, right? And the importance of ideas, reflect on the justification of one's own beliefs and values, right? So these are the various like in way critical thinking like skills can come out with these kind of thinking process. So already it is told like the difference between design thinking and critical thinking, right? So already it is seen that it is totally logically related. This critical thinking is, and the quantity definitely matters. And towards the thinking process, if we are going to say critical thinking, so left brain is going to be used, and the method used is waterfall method. And towards design thinking, like so, definitely you should start with empathy. Whereas critical thinking, it is totally logical thinking. Design thinking, always you consider the user needs, right? You will consider their insights, their inputs. Then insight definitely matters in design thinking. If customer don't like that product, then gone case, right? So empathy is going to play a major role in design thinking, and right brain is going to work in design thinking process, and it's a agile process. So this is very brief discussion about the, because ideation, ultimately the idea what we have to get. So based on like what it is required, what is, whether it is feasible. So feasibility aspect definitely. So the idea is going to be selected. So, and we have undergone the various training process. So various ideas we try to generate based on the theme we have given. Like one of the workshop what we have attended, like design thinking process, the theme has been given, and we have come out with the various like ideation process. That is one of the third step. So we have come out with the various ideas, right? So then we have only analyzed them and come out with which problem, which solution can be the feasible one, and like we try to design them like ICT tools, like teaching, online teaching purpose, the various effective communication tools like ICT. So this was our topic, the theme. So what can be done? What can be the various effective solution that can be, right? So ultimately, the teaching learning process should be effective. That was the theme. Like definitely, so theme should be there, topic should be there, and then based on that, so the ideation process, a n number of ideas that are going to be get generated. Okay, so the effective outcome. So definitely always the effective outcome in the ideation process. So we have undergone this course and we have been uh, honored with this innovation ambassador badge from MHRD's innovation cell. And we have conducted various workshops also at our institutions, a design thinking workshop. So like we have conducted for our students also. So like this, they have come out with one of the possibility of the idea, like what they can. So this is some different idea, like robot, right? Robot, like a combination of robot and Superman. Like they have tried this, so that how the robot and Superman like combination, how it can be. So they have tried just, but the thing is, idea they got like how the feasibility aspect is, like all this should be discussed. Like they have done that a small attempt it was, okay, right? And these are the various references that can you can refer for. Yes, ma'am. Done with the presentation. Any questions from the student side? Queries? Then
If we have no queries, then we can proceed towards the end of the session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for a great session. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experience. We are pleased to have your valuable contribution. The session was thought-provoking and was indeed helpful for our future entrepreneurs. On the behalf of the Startup Club, I would like to thank you for your gracious presence and for a truly memorable evening. Now, I would like to request Professor Rajkumar Singh, sir, our today's session coordinator, to deliver his vote of thanks.
Thank you, Prakhar. A very good afternoon to all. It is a great honor for me to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. On behalf of Startup Club, the Reliance Institute of Technology, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our guest, Dr. Sudha Arvind Madam, who spared valuable time from her busiest schedule to grace this occasion. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. Thank you very much, ma'am. I also express my sincere thanks to our director, Dr. Arun Arora sir, and principal, Dr. Mohan Gupta sir, for providing such a platform to us. I also express my sincere thanks to our vice principal, Dr. Manisha Sharma madam, for motivating us to make our startup plus a success. Thank you, madam. And I am also very happy to express thanks to our participants for showing their interest on this startup club activity. Thank you very much. And finally, I would like to thank Dr. Shubrata Nagpal Madam, convener Startup Club, and all faculty members, and very proactive and dedicated students committee members of Startup Club, especially Prakhar, Muskan, and Tushar, who were well versed in their job today. Thank you very much to all. Thank you.
And with this, we wind up today's session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. See you
Camera
again in the next
switch on
session.
करा के बोलो.
Everyone is requested to switch on their camera so that we can take a selfie. And I have also provided the feedback form link in the chat box. Everyone is requested to fill that. Okay, we are done then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much to all.
Thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you.